All right, let's call the meeting to order.
Mr. Benjamin?
Present.
Ms. Conley? Here. Mr. Lamar?
Present.
Mr. Biox? Ms. Leah?
Present. Okay, we're here for a special called meeting, and first of all, I would like to move to authorize the chairman to appoint a committee whose functions will be to begin gathering information necessary for selection of a part-time school board attorney. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Yeah, I had a question, Ms.
Sure.
Chairman. I'm trying to understand why we actually need another attorney, since we already have a school board attorney. And we're already paying a full-time attorney.
Right. Well, as we've looked at it before, when we first started out, we did have a school board attorney part-time, and then we switched to in-house attorney for the school system. And at this point in time, it just seems that we need a school board attorney to help us with certain items that concerns the school board. I don't think that there's going to be any conflict or anything that may come up with our superintendent. By the way, I meant to say something at the beginning, but I'll say it at the end about Mr. Mayo. But at any rate, there have been some concerns about like contracts being done by an employee of the superintendent or not board evaluations, but superintendent evaluations by an employee of the superintendent again. Because if you look, when we have litigation, our in-house attorney's going to, what's a good word for that? Will legally represent the superintendent and not the school board. Like we had to have Mr. McKinney for some litigation for us as board members.
Right.
To be our attorney. So I really feel like that we just need a part-time school board attorney to help us with our school board business.
But I mean, that was one instance, since I've even been on the board, that we had to hire an attorney for the school board. I'm just wondering why we need to spend that additional money without there being something going on, or.
Well, also, like I
litigation.
said, that, it's an employee doing the superintendent's evaluation, that's kind of a conflict of interest. It's kind of a tough thing to do. Also.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
So, in a conflict for Ms. Speakman to do the superintendent's evaluation in designing it, or?
It puts quite a bit of burden on her, to be honest with you, with Ms. Speakman, because, she's doing her boss's evaluation, and then she has to grade it and
But we're the
present
ones
it.
that do the evaluation, right? We evaluate the superintendent. I'm assuming
Yes,
Ms.
and then
Speakman.
we turn the information over to Ms. Speakman.
And then is it okay if I ask Ms. Speakman a question?
Sure.
So Ms. Speakman, from there, do you just basically tally the numbers? I mean, is that basically what you do? Yeah.
And then report on it at a meeting.
Right, but I mean, it's essentially just reading what we wrote down, right? I mean, do we need to hire outside counsel to read what we wrote? To me, it just seems like a waste of money. That's just what I see in this. I'm going, I don't understand why we need another counsel if we have a full-time counsel already. Why do we need another attorney?
Well, we went to that school in Jackson, and they gave us this chart, and it says legal duties of the school board.
Wait, say that again. Wait, what was your last statement?
This chart that we went to the school in Jackson about the school board and its duties,
Uh-huh.
and it says the school boards had 4 duties.
Okay, what are they?
Prepare and approve the annual budget, employ director of schools, consolidate schools when necessary, lease or sell buildings or property, and retain legal counsel. So from what I'm looking at, this is a duty of the school board, and we're not unique. Other municipalities have a part-time school board attorney, so we're not
We have a full-time one.
we're not doing anything
We
outside.
have a full-time one.
We didn't retain Mrs. Speakman.
But she
Madam
works for
Chair.
the school system.
Madam Chair,
Ma'am.
may I speak?
Yes, I'm sorry, Ms. Conley, I couldn't see you.
Yeah.
The glass is fogging up.
I think it's important for us to have a part-time lawyer that is strictly for the school board. And if the school system wants to continue to have a full-time lawyer, that's up to the school system. But the lawyer should not be representing the board and the school system. It should be two separate people. And I'm gonna be real honest with you, there've been a couple of times this year that we were kind of hung out to dry as a board because the lawyer was representing the school system or
Can you give me those?
Superintendent.
I have no idea what those examples are. Will you tell me what those
I
are?
don't, I really, I'm going to tell you this. I don't want any negativity or any attacks on anybody, because certainly Ms. Speakman does not deserve that, nor does any of us. So I'm not going to allow any negative comments or personal, because I have a couple of things, but I just don't want to go into the negativity. I just don't see how it helps anybody. And I did promise Ms. Speakman that I would do that and that I would make sure that there was no negative comments. And so I'm going to ask that everybody not do that.
So absent any negative comments about, I'm assuming you're talking about Ms. Speakman, absent any negative comments about her, can you just give me an example of times that we weren't represented well or we didn't get represented? I'm really just trying to figure out why we're trying to spend more money on an additional attorney when we have a full-time attorney already.
Well, some of the examples that I have in some of our board meetings, it seemed like there was quite a bit of confusion caused when we were trying to make a motion or talk about some of our policies that I'm going to stop there.
I don't understand that. I don't know what you're, I
I'm
don't know the
sorry.
point that you're trying to
I'm
make.
going to go with what Madam Chair has asked us to do and not give negative information.
Well, one of the situations I remember was the step races. And we got into it about the step races because I was the chairman. And I didn't know what to do because I didn't have any advice because we didn't have an attorney. So
We
that's
have
all.
an attorney. We have, she's sitting right there. We have an attorney.
That she doesn't, she represents the school system, not the school board. That's the way I understand it.
So you couldn't have asked Ms. I asked Ms. Speakman for her advice numerous times when I was the chair. I'm not understanding why you couldn't have asked Ms. Speakman for her advice. She's a legal brain. I mean, she is top of her, I mean, she's top notch in what she does. Why in the world would we not ask her questions? Am I just blind to something here? I'm really at a loss for, if we have a full-time attorney who is tops in her game, why in the world do we need another attorney? Why do we need to spend more money whenever we know within the next few years we're going to have less students and less funding? Why do we need to spend more on an attorney?
Well, in my opinion, she doesn't represent the board, she represents the school system. That's my interpretation.
So are we, again, so we've had one instance where we had to hire an attorney,
No,
right?
we've had more than that.
Well, that's what we just said, right? That we had one instance we had to hire an attorney. Are there other instances that we had to hire an attorney?
Yes.
Can you tell me what those were?
When a certain letter was read in the meeting, which probably shouldn't have been, I had to contact somebody.
Okay. And so you want to hire an attorney to?
No, I didn't say that. I have many reasons. As I said, we're going to keep it very positive, and I'm gonna respect, everybody here, and that's the way I feel.
I just love to hear the many reasons. If we're gonna have to vote on spending money on an additional attorney when we have a full-time attorney, I just love to know why we want to spend more money on something that would be sparsely, if ever, used.
Ms. Speakman would be doing work for the district, the school district. School board attorney would be doing work for the school board.
I know, I
And that's
understand,
two
the-
different entities.
but how much work do we need as a board? How much
They would
work
be
do we need as a
part-time, and they would
board?
only be called on when we needed them for something. It's really not gonna be as much. I did a little work on National School Board Association, which even said that most large school systems do have in-house attorneys, but most schools systems across the United States have part-time attorneys who work outside of the district.
And so we're gonna hire somebody, or gonna keep somebody on retainer, for just in case we might ever need somebody at some possible point.
We'll
We
need 'em.
are. In fact,
We'll need 'em.
that's true.
Is that what you're trying to do?
I feel like that there were times during school board meetings that the school board was not represented by some of the comments that came from Ms. Speakman to the board, and it strictly was in support of the superintendent.
Can you give me any examples behind that? Because I mean, that's a very broad statement.
Well, just like the most recent thing was the alternative motion.
Will you just
When
refresh
we
my
were-
memory about
When we were
that?
going for Kay as, Ms. Williams as chair.
Okay,
Well, when somebody's been nominated, there's not an alternative motion when someone has already been nominated for that position. You can look that up in Robert's Rules of Order.
and so you think Ms. Speakman was trying to undermine Ms. Williams? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure.
Ms. Williams she's sitting in the chair spot. I'm not understanding how our attorney how you felt like she was undermining her because she was giving I'm still not exactly sure what you're talking about, but giving a point of clarity around a motion. Is that what it was around?
You were there, Mr.
I know I
President.
was there. I didn't
I
see
know.
anything out of order.
That's right, because she's supporting you, not the board.
Wait, she's supporting me?
Yes.
I don't understand what you mean by that statement
Okay,
either.
that's fine. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. I feel like in your heart, you really know what we're talking about.
I don't know. Well, first off,
Miss-
don't accuse me of
Miss
lying. Don't accuse me of lying, because
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
lying.
Wait,
No.
out of order. Let's just stay on the topic and let's.
Well, she's
let's go ahead
accusing
and.
me of something that's
No,
not true.
No, oh,
I'm
no,
not
no
accusing you
personal
of lying.
attacks. We're not gonna do that. We're just not. And I'm about, do we need to go ahead and vote?
Call for
Oh,
the question.
Well, of course, you're going to vote 3-1. I mean, it's very obvious what's going to happen, but it's just amazing to me that we're going to spend money on an attorney when we already have a full-time attorney. That's all I'm going to say, on the record.
Okay?
Well, I feel like it's amazing that we are spending as much money for this attorney for the school system. That amazes me.
Wait, well, this is a completely different question, but you think we're spending too much on Ms. Speakman?
Call for the
Call for the
question.
question. Do we have a second? for
I didn't
call?
think we'd want to talk about that.
Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish it. Can you wait? Do you mind holding that? Thank
Okay.
you. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, I don't know her exact salary, but I know that it's a good amount. And I just don't feel like that's necessary for the school system either.
So you don't think we need a school system attorney? You guys think we need one, but you don't think we need a school system attorney? Is that what you're saying? Or you don't think we
Maybe.
need Ms. Speakman as our school system
No,
attorney?
I don't think anybody's saying that. I'm
It
not
sounds
sure.
like what she's
I'm
saying.
not sure we need a full-time attorney. for 4 schools. I'm not sure about that.
But we need a part-time one for the board when we're part-time ourselves? That makes no sense to me.
Well, that's what's done across the country,
Makes no sense to me.
if you look at it.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Any more discussion? Any more questions? All right, all those in favor? I guess we better do a roll call vote, Ms. Gore.
Mr. Benjamin?
No.
Ms. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Lamar?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes. Also, let me just say that this is just forming a committee. It authorizes the chairman to form a committee to start gathering information. So I don't think it has anything right at this point about hiring. It is about gathering information to look at a school board attorney. So, the ayes have it. Let's move on to the second item. The second item is approval of the 2021 schedule for work sessions and regular school board meetings. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 2021 schedule of work sessions in conjunction with the regular school board meetings.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
I just had a question about work sessions. Will these be, are these mandatory work sessions?
Let me,
like
yeah,
that?
I'm glad you said that. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. What I thought about was this, that we have, go ahead and schedule them for the year, and then when they are not necessary, we will cancel them in an appropriate time so that we can get the announcement out.
I think it's a great.
Because if
idea.
we don't need a meeting, we don't need it.
Yeah.
But I have been sometimes frustrated by us not being able to discuss items, and then we just vote on them. So I just think work sessions, we can work better together. We can discuss and see what the other one thinks, and I think we'll know each other a little better on the school board business. So that's why I wanted to
Yeah,
go
I think-
ahead and schedule them for a year, and then if we don't need them, we can cancel them,
Yeah, I think
whichever ones we don't need.
I think
It
it's
just
How's that?
clears
I
the
think it- I
air
think it- I think
of
it's a great
something we
idea.
need to discuss prior to the meeting, so we'll know what we're talking about, so when we come into the meeting, we're not blindsided. I think it's the more we know what we're voting on, the better off we are. And work sessions are very common. This is not anything new. School boards
Yeah.
have them, towns have them.
I think
And I
it's a great
think this
idea.
is a better opportunity for us to get informed of what's going to be on the agenda and what our opinions are, so we can kind of thrash this thing out prior to the meeting.
Ms. Conley, did you have anything on this?
No, other than the fact that, if it's not needed, then we just cancel it.
Right, exactly. Exactly. We don't need meetings just to have meetings, that's for sure. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. The ayes have it, and the motion's carried. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Meeting is adjourned. Let me just say meeting before. This is the first time we've had a meeting with our superintendent, and I wanted to make sure we said, Mr. Mayo, welcome to the job of superintendent and working with your school board. We congratulate you. Welcome.
I was so impressed yesterday in hearing the report that was given by the CRS committee. I just think a lot of work has gone into that, and they're trying their best to cover every little thing that's going on and could possibly happen, and I think that's very important. And I was glad that I was able to be at that meeting yesterday and to hear about all this work. Thank you.
We've got a great team.